what could be an incredible match. These guys have met a lot this year. There's been trades, there's been matches which have gone either way from both of them. Let's find out how this is going to go. We have to the top right-hand side a Galactic Processor map, number 1 of this best of 3 series. It's our red Zerg player. It is Euronics Gaming's Nerchio. And we all know what he loves to do on this map. He did it to knock Nerchio out of the KeSPA Intercontinental Qualifiers just a few weeks ago. He loves the free rack sweeper. It's our Blue Terran player from Team Liquid. It is uThermal, or Fermi. I don't think I can get away with calling him Fermi. I just think I'm never going to call him that. Just not going to happen. While we wait, how's my BlizzCon drive going, and what would I do if it go? You know what was enabled? Because this is going to be a free rack sweeper right from the get-go. Let me answer that question a little bit later on. If you ask that like during a break, like at the start of a break, or like midway through a break, much better time to ask it, because I'll be able to. Then when the delay kicks in, I'll be able to answer it when we come back. And I'd love to answer that question, but it's a silly thing to start talking about when we already have Reapers starting to come out from uThermal with 3 racks. Well, actually only 2 racks. I guess he'll build the 3rd racks now, though, so 3 racks on the way up. So please, again, ask that question later, because I'd love to answer it, but obviously right now, not going to work out. Going to be seeing this couple of Reapers currently just building here for uThermal, so a couple of Reapers building. No 3rd racks, actually, only 2 racks Reaper, interesting. 2 gases taken. I'm intrigued. I'm intrigued by the 2 racks Reaper. It's different, it really is, and it's going to be a little bit, it'll be a much faster expansion, I suppose, is sort of the important thing to mention. So, it'll be a much faster expansion as you see this Reaper coming in towards the upper right-hand side. Rotron comes down in the back of this mineral line, as you're going to be seeing this Reaper just coming up and starting to work away against these first 3 Zerglings. So Zerglings is going to be taking a little bit of damage there. Reaper going to come back in. Rotron already on the way down from Nerchio. He's going to see the expansion though, and should now know it's actually not going to be 3 rack Reaper, but 2 rack Reaper in the early stages of this game. So it's an interesting one. It's different. It's very unique from uThermal. Something you don't usually see in TVZ. As we're going to see him picking off 2 workers though. Good start as the Zerglings will go down as well. uThermal off to a fantastic start at the start of this one. 2 workers and a bunch of lings already falling. Nerchio gonna have to tighten up on that, as you do see him starting to add on a couple of roaches to get ready to defend against this. Currently 24 workers to 22, so he's at an okay worker count for now. As we're going to see another worker going down though. Man, these Reapers having the time of their lives. Very narrowly getting one more drone there. Nice grenades to just stop this Queen from killing off that Reaper, which gets very low towards the end. The Reaper just about staying alive. I'm just going to be seeing the Reapers just falling back down to the low ground. 5th Reaper from uThermal is going to be coming over to the right-hand side now with the rest of the Reapers and just changing up the direction of attack, sneak in behind this mineral line and try and get another couple of drone kills. Just going to grenade up and try and just trade with these roaches a little bit further. Factory is about to finish up actually from uThermal, so Factory about to finish. As you see grenades continuing to come down, and we see another grenade towards the end here. Nice stuff. And just continuing to back away. Ooh, 2 of those Reapers getting very, very low. We're just about able to slide. That roach getting low as well. Going to morph that one into a Ravager to help Nerchio defend here. I love this though from Nerchio. He's only adding on a roach or 2 at a time. Even not that many roaches initially. He only made 3 initially. And that means he's gone straight up to 32 drones. So he's really defending this with the absolute minimum. Just to make sure that he can get as many drones out as possible. Nice grenade forwards there. And again, just trying to push those Reapers around. Push those roaches around, I should say. And Reapers, again, just still trading. Factory is now going to build a tech lab. Well, it's going to be on a tech lab. We're going to be building up a tank here straight away. I'm just going to be seeing the command center coming in over towards the 3rd base. Reapers continue to trade over here in this hatchery. Is going to be going down very shortly. So Hess hatchery about to fall. We're going to be seeing that drone getting picked off as well. Reapers will join up together, and 8 of them in total. Going to be moving forwards here. There's Ravager and a few 3 Ravagers and 3 Roaches moving across the map. It's interesting because I oftentimes feel as though against 3X or any kind of Reaper play, being aggressive never really works because the Reapers are so good at stopping it. But uThermal hasn't actually seen this, and so this is going to be slightly awkward where he doesn't actually know his opponent is coming across the map, so he won't have much to defend at home. As we're going to be seeing 2 Reapers going down here. He backs away. Only 6 Reapers remaining. And now the Roaches and Ravagers are across the map. Tank is in position though, in play. And, well, Nerchio just going to have a very limited amount of time to really get damage done with this, as this tank attack will clean up eventually but eventually being the key word here, as we see another shot going down. Marine's helping as well, and uThermal just dodging away from Biles. As the Reaper's coming in to try and just clean up at the very end here, chasing those Ravagers away. Going to get one kill, and he's going to get the other as well. And he's got the medevac overhead to push that Overlord back if he wants to keep it around. Looks as though he's just going to keep fishing off it anyway. So Overlord going to go down too. Nerchio's counter-attack doesn't really achieve a lot. Free Workers killed, a couple of depots picked off. Not the end of the world though in the end, I don't think. I think uThermal will still be fairly content with the way this game is going for himself. We see Link Speed starting up from Nerchio as he goes into an Evolution Chamber as well, and his lair about halfway done. Obviously, Roach-based play has been fairly uncommon lately in the matchup, and we've been seeing a lot more Milling Bane, and I wonder what this Evolution Chamber and the Link Speed really means from Nerchio, whether it's just going to be Carapace upgrades. Most likely, actually, going to be something like Link Speed and Carapace Roaches / Ravagers, and just going quite quickly up into Ultras, and obviously then you have the Carapace on the Ultras already, with the Ultras, their main goal being to just never die, rather than deal that damage super quickly. Reaper's still coming back in, throwing some grenades down, popping units up into the sky. You see this tank actually going to unsiege and just back away. I actually like that. He's, I don't know, I think his idea was that he just didn't want to pull the medevac over to the side instantly. So, just pulling it back by unsieging it initially. I mean, either way, he's continuing to defend, and uThermal applying pressure still. I mean, Nerchio, for being under so much pressure, is still doing a good job of turning it all away. He's never really taken major damage. I mean, you look at the kind of workers killed. He lost 3 workers at the very start, and that was about it. As you see now, a little bit of creep spread going to be cleaned out. This is quite nice, actually slowing the creep down between the natural and the 4th base, / 3rd base, whatever you want to call it. I mean, it's kind of awkward. These bases came up at a similar time. I'd say more naturally, this one is the 3rd, and this is the 4th. And that's probably how we're going to refer to it as time goes by, even though Nerchio's already mining from this one. Which might be not so bad an idea. The more you mine from this one, then the less that's mined out of this one later in the game. And if you do end up losing this base, then you've got a fresher base to fall back to. So that can actually make a lot of sense if you can hold this base now and then go back to this base later. It's, you know, it's a nice little thing. Obviously, ideally, you want to never lose this base, but if it gets to that sort of situation, having a fresher base in the back might actually come in fairly useful. Reaper's going to pop up again. He sees these units over here, and a few grenades going down, and not really much damage being done. Just continue to look around to see what's going to be going on. Some creep spread just going to continue pushing out to the right-hand side, and looking as though it's going to start coming up this ramp as well. Infestor being added on too. And you're going to be seeing the melody upgrades continue to roll on in from Nerchio. So he is just going to go, he went Carapace first, and then with a second Evo Chamber later, he's added on that +1 melee too. Infestor's on the way up, but no sign of a hive just yet. So, sort of saying, hey, I'm teching up here, we're going to just play Ling Ravager Roach? Ling Ravager Roach Infestor. Infestor's being the really key part of that, because the fungal growths combined with the corrosive biles, so good. Here we go, going to see these tanks unload on the high ground, and they do reach that hatchery, and that is of course scary because, well, if they can reach that hatchery, it could go down. Going to back away now. One of those medevac's very low, which is probably the scariest thing for uThermal here. Doesn't want to end up losing a tank just because the medevac goes down very quickly. Roaches, Ravagers, a few Zerglings still just moving around themselves. Infestor over to the right hand side here as well. I'm just going to be seeing bio forces from uThermal starting to push up the left hand side of the map. And we've seen a couple of Reapers going to be going down here, so a couple of Reapers getting taken down. I'm just going to be a scan. uThermal just keeping an eye on where his opponent's army might be. Lots of bio to the left hand side. And uThermal's going to catch a few units from the low ground on their own. Fungal Growth will come in and catch a few of those Marines. Corrosive Biles will come down. Medevac is able to boost away in time though. Biles just coming in a little bit too late after the Fungal Growth. Tanks obviously try and join up with this as well as uThermal will move forward. He'll pick up this Overlord Nerchio. He himself is going into that Hive Tech now, and his 2-2 upgrades are on the way as well. So upgrades are fairly even. For 10 minutes in the game, neither player really has fantastic upgrades here. Just because of the way this open with the early Reaper pressure. Obviously affects uThermal's build and affects Nerchio's build too. As we're going to be seeing a nice little drop down here. Again, those tanks in a very scary position. Comes forward, gets rid of the Infestor very early. Backs away. As Zerglings from the backside might be the biggest issue here, but uThermal as well has units from the back too. And this fight is a little bit all over the place from both sides, but Nerchio looking as though he's starting to push through in the top. However, then all of a sudden uThermal has more reinforcements from the back, so he's still fighting this. Couple of tanks lifting up and getting out of reach of Ravagers and Roaches. That one tank to the top side survives for so long on such low health, and uThermal is starting to break through this. Both players were obviously very happy to take that fight. That's why neither of them really truly backed away at any point. Such a technical fight as well, with both players repositioning multiple times during it. but it's uThermal who seems to come out with a little bit more momentum and a little bit of a lead on his side. Ravager's morphing in from Nerchio. Nice little lift up. Tank will relocate once more, as really only Queens at the front here, and Queens are all, Queens are good and all, but they're not really damage dealers. They're kind of support units, and if Queens are all you really have to do damage, you're probably in trouble. Infested Terrans coming down, that's when you know the Zerg is really struggling. If you're dropping Infested Terrans rather than waiting for that fungal growth, you're just trying to not die for a little while longer. Tanks continue to carry backwards as Infestors go down as they run on into this army, and that's going to be a kappa from Nerchio as he taps on out. uThermal takes game number 1 in one heck of a TVZ and wins him the game. To the bottom right hand side, we're going to have that Blue Terran player. Let's hope for more of the same, because it's just so fantastic to watch. It is Team Liquid's uThermal. And to the upper right, our red Zerg player from Euronics Gaming is going to be Nerchio. Nerchio played a fantastic game as well. Such great defense while continuing to tech on up. I think that's very important to always sort of take note of, and to kind of keep an eye on and so on. I think it's always something that's really important to kind of keep an eye on and stuff. So it's been yeah, it's one of those things. It's like he just sort of defended so well early, and he played a good game. It's just that one engagement, which I think he probably should have even won, was just micro heaven out of uThermal, and that just changed everything. So fantastic when you get to see two players like these go up against each other. I mean, how many times do we see those couple of tanks just getting super low and like on the verge of death? Like, so many times it almost happened. Crazy, crazy stuff. We are going to be seeing a Reaper on the way out here from uThermal early on in his Frost build order. Reaper expand, nothing too crazy about that. Anyone ever really watched a CC building? It's quite interesting, isn't it? Like, look at this. It's drilling a bit here. I wonder what makes it decide it needs to drill here, then there, then there. It's interesting. Now, you drilled here and there and there. What about this bit? Does this bit not need drilling? That's what the SCV is up to. He's just going to fix that corner. Nope. And keep on drilling. It's pretty interesting, really, if you like watch it. Apparently, this side needs drilling, but this bit doesn't. And see, just putting up the prop still, making sure he's following those instructions. It must be good to be an SCV, just like automatically trained to build super technical stuff like a command center and so on. Pretty crazy. Third hatch comes down from Nerchio. His opening here, just the Zergling speed. Pulls out a gas for the most part, leaving one worker in there just to keep working away, but nothing too intriguing about it. I'm just going to be seeing Nerchio just mining away. So Nerchio just mining away, just one worker in that gas still. That factory is going to be finishing up very shortly here from uThermal. So factory going to be finishing up. And a few more Marines just on the way out currently. So a few more Marines on the way out. I'm just going to be seeing uThermal just with a couple of Marines just going to be joining up on this ramp. There's a couple of Marines going to be joining up there. A few drones on the way out currently from Nerchio. And there's one Reaper from uThermal just going to be moving over to the right hand side, just looking around basically. He knows where his opponent is, right? And he's seen the third base, so just moving around, probably trying to survive against these Zerglings. Still going with a grenade. Ring around the watchtower, tries to get away. Oop. No, Zerglings. Zerglings? Wow, Zerglings is going to let that Reaper get away. That's interesting, because there's no real reason to let the Reaper get away. You're only giving your opponent an advantage later on. Zergling going to keep on looking around here, and we're just going to be seeing the 2-1-1 build order from uThermal. So very standard build from him in this game. We see this. I sort of mentioned this earlier. I can't remember if you did it. Some of it's pulled or live against E-Laser. But it's a very common build order to see on Frost because it just gives you the mobility around the map, the constant pressure on a map which is so large, which is generally laid out in a way that you would generally expect to be favored for a Zerg player, just because of its size. So this is really nice. uThermal will begin to pressure early, and he'll continue to pressure throughout. Double engineering bay is going to tell us as well that he's going to be setting up into a macro-based follow-up. Double engineering bay for double upgrades into a third CC as well. those two medevacs going to come up the right-hand side. So they're going to head up the right-hand side and again look to get into position and see what they can get up to. So two medevacs just going to be coming up here. I'm just going to be seeing some of the Marines starting to unload. Some Marines begin to unload and then loading up once again. Going to be maybe just going to try and dodge into the main base of the natural or something. Spore Crawler here will deny that though. And Nerchio's got his queens and lings in a fairly central position. This is nice because it means he can get here, up there, into the main very quickly with whatever he needs. So that's good. Single scan, single creep tumor. We'll probably come up here and commit for another creep tumor, but that'll be about it. As the Zerglings come forward, he'll start a step away, and then he'll lift up and get out of there. So, losing a few more Marines than he maybe bargained for at that point. As the Zerglings did get a bit of a surround, and, well, they got some good damage done. So, good damage being done there. You can see this Baneliness right now from Nerchio is on the way up, currently about halfway done. So, Baneliness about halfway done, +1/+1 melee upgrades from Nerchio continue to come in as well. As we see these Marines from uThermal just going to be coming in and taking this upper watchtower. A couple of medevacs going to be moving towards the top side of the map. And we will just be seeing these two medevacs and the kind of group of Marines with them. Just looking to see what exactly they can get up to. So, just going to be seeing these couple of medevacs unloading. And it's going to be a further attack from uThermal. Nerchio very well prepared though. I think he's droned after the first attack and he's prepared for this one again though by already starting up some more Zerglings, some more Banelings. And as he stims on in, I was going to be seeing a few of these creep tumors etc. getting cleaned out. So a few creep tumors getting cleaned out there nice and easily. I'm just going to be seeing a couple more tumors coming on down from Nerchio. So a couple more tumors coming into play. And again, Marines from uThermal are going to come up and again just trying to trade. And just staying very central here. Ooh, he's going to lose a full medevac, isn't he? He does. He really stuck around too long there. It took a while for him to boost away. A little bit of a mistake as we're going to be seeing the fourth hatchery coming down. And uThermal, well, his 1-1 has completed now, so he can trade a little bit more easily with these units, but he just doesn't have that much left over. Losing a bunch of Marines like he has done so far. I mean, both times he's actually lost a lot of Marines. In the first attack, he got surrounded, lost about 6 or 7. In the second attack, he just lost a full medevac of them. So, this is, yeah, that's, kind of just uThermal just losing a lot more than he wants to. And that just hurts him when it comes to trying to continuing to trade and continuing to try and trade efficiently. +2/+2 melee upgrades coming in. We're going to see the Marines continue to stem backwards as just going to be seeing these Marines loading on up and just going to be getting away nice and quick. Lings and Banes from Nerchio all the way over to the right hand side. So lots of Ling Bane over to the right. Creep tumors continue to spread out. And again, Marines unloading once again as the CC is going to come into position from uThermal on the third base. That's a long way to float the third base over. He wants to take the forward third base to kind of just keep on attacking forwards from. Look at this, Nerchio with, well, Banelin's morphing in aggressively. It looks as though Nerchio wants to get aggressive. He doesn't have Bane speed yet, but I think what he's saying is like, hey, I traded so well up until now, I've killed off quite a lot of units. I actually just don't think you have enough to realistically stay in this game and fight against me. I really, really don't. So uThermal's going to sit here with a good chunk of Marines, a good chunk of medevacs up in the sky. And as this Ling Bane joins together from Nerchio, well, will we see him attacking? And that's going to be the question. A couple of Liberators on the way from uThermal too, whether to harass or whether to just prepare against the Mutalisk play. Either or would work right now. Nerchio's obviously set up onto his 4 bases safely. The momentum he's sort of stopped uThermal from having early is going to allow him to take that fairly swiftly. And now I see what Nerchio's doing. He's just waiting for uThermal to make a move like this to his right hand side. And then he's immediately going to hit into the third base. And that is going to be a counter attack that uThermal has to turn around to come and deal with. So 4 workers going down. Actually, not too many workers going down already. uThermal's pretty quick to respond. I mean, I guess that's the benefit of taking the third base over here, that when you start to be aggressive... Oh, the Marines are clumped up, though. Banelin's connect on them initially. But yeah, the benefit of taking the third base in a forward location is when you get aggressive, afterwards, you can very quickly kind of turn into a very good spot. Oh, Banelin's continue to connect quite nicely here. I think uThermal is just losing a bit too much, really. Sorry, I didn't explain my point before very well, though. So, when you have this third base here, if you attack up the right-hand side, then if you do get attacked into your third, you're very quick to come back. Whereas the third base over here, if you attack up this direction, then to come back is actually all the way back here. It's so much further away. And that is oftentimes a big issue. As we're going to see 2 Liberators to the right-hand side. We're going to see 7 Corruptors currently being built up. And a few more Zerglings on the way up. Hive does now finish. And the Zerglings from Nerchio just going to be moving forwards. Marines going to be starting to fight this here. And Just going to be seeing uThermal going to have to lift up. Oh, the SCVs have to turn around quickly. A few more workers going down. A little bit of a drop to the top side, or not actually a drop, but a Liberator coming into play, try and get something done. uThermal splitting away, still trying to just hold on. But again, nothing really went his way throughout the entirety of this game. And he's looking to be in a spot of trouble right now. As the Zerglings get set up, ready to go once again. Banelings will morph in once more from Nerchio. I'm going to see a Medivac just heading over to the left-hand side of the map. Marines going to be trying to trade here once again, and ooh, wouldn't mind. Let me get a good connection, but again, when you're so far behind already as uThermal, you've got to get so much done here. You've got to trade so well, and that's so difficult. Corruptor's coming in too, will not just deal with the Liberators, but also the Medivacs, and just continue to pick away at uThermal's army. We are going to be going to game number 3 here, guys. I believe it's King Sejong Station for the third map, and anything could happen. Either of these players could go to the winner bracket round of 4, where they would play against either Snoot or Heat to see which of the players will move through into the winner bracket round of 4. Winner of this again plays either Snoot or Hero Marine. I don't believe we have a result from that just yet. As we're going to be seeing, oh, we do. Hero Marine 2 is Snoot. So actually the winner of this plays Hero Marine. Elsewhere in the bracket, Marine Lord will play Bunny, and Elaser Petit Drogo in the round of 8 winner bracket, in the same round as what we are in right now. Alright then, so setting up into game number 3. Well, this is interesting because actually this is all over the place right now as to who might qualify, who might make it. It could truly, really be anybody. Going to be intense, going to be exciting. We have this game setting up. To the bottom right hand side, our Team Liquid player is going to be uThermal. He's in the blue. Classic liquid blue. And to the upper left is going to be our red Zerg from Euronics Gaming. It's Nerchio. What's up, Moku? How you doing? Feels like it's been a long time since we spoke, buddy. How's it going? Hope you're doing good. What's up, Phased? What's up, Mjolky? Do I see Remlif in here as well? We do indeed. Cheering on uThermal. Thanks for dropping by, everyone. Again, if you're enjoying the games, I would urge you to hit that follow button. If you're really enjoying, you can join the sub hype. Again, as I said earlier, it's the last day to get your hands on a sub replay pack from August, featuring games from SGL, Leifeng Cup, and more. So make sure you get your hands on that if you want it. Over 300 replays from Bjorn, Snoot, uThermal, Hearthstone, Violet, Gumiho, so many different players. Great chance to get some good replays. Goes out tonight for one last time, and then there'll be another one in 2 weeks, the September replay pack. As we set up into game number 3. Just going to be setting this up and getting this ready to go. Can I turn down the music when I'm in the match? You prefer to hear my voice? Is the music that loud? I think it's very quiet for me, and usually people talk about the music being very quiet. But let me know, guys, if the volume is a little bit wrong. I can correct it. Let me know. It's very easy to correct if you all kind of come to a consensus as to which way it needs to go, what has to go up and what has to go down. But let me know. Anyways, early on in this here, we're just going to be seeing an initial setup. Nothing actually too interesting going on just yet. Once again, uThermal with the 2-1-1 opening, so same as the last game, we'll hope to execute a little bit better here in the early stages. Queen just going to be pushing the Reaper away over to the left hand side. So Reaper's getting pushed away over to the left, and we do see a couple of Hero Chambers just coming up at the front. We're actually picking off a Crypt Tomb at the front. Obviously, that's quite nice as well. And there's going to be some melee upgrades. Very standard stuff so far out of both players for the first 420 of the game. And we're seeing a couple of Medivacs on the way out and a couple of Engineering Bays coming down as well right now. So a couple of Engineering Bays coming down. There's a Refinery. It's a nice little wall he makes up for himself here. So again, same build as last time. I think uThermal will just go into this saying, well, you know what? You know what? I'm very happy to see this kind of being kind of very happy to just kind of do this again, and just this time think to try and execute a little bit more cleanly, a little bit more nicely, to just sort of keep things going. So let's see these couple of medevacs going up the left side of the map. Let's see what he's going to be able to get up to, as we're going to be seeing two of them ready to go in towards main base or natural very, very soon. So two medevacs coming up, and they'll jump in towards that main again in just a few moments' time. So boosting on in, the Marines will begin to unload, and oops, a few of them unloading on the low ground. It's probably not what he wants. Actually going to load up and go to the high ground now, and he's going to start fighting these Zerglings on their own. When out of range of the Queens. If he'd actually dropped all of the Marines on the high ground, I actually think that would have been quite a nice trade for uThermal if the Queen's not there. But unfortunately, it didn't quite happen. And that's maybe actually why Nerchio decided to fight into it, because he saw not all of the Marines had unloaded there. He's just going to come over here as well, stop Nerchio from taking down these rocks. There's two more medevacs on the way out. Continued pressure will be coming in from uThermal as the game passes by, as the game goes by, ticks away. Just going to, again, the idea being this time, you can see the difference. He's already kept a lot more Marines alive the first time, and it's just going to make future pushes so much better. Like, this double medevac is still a very kind of, it's a big threat. And if he has a big threat in the main base, while he also drops a double medevac to the top right side, to the third, that starts to really pull Nerchio out of position. As uThermal will sim in, he'll get a Queen kill now. And maybe an Overlord as well. He pulls himself over to the side, and ooh. The thing is, he's now got himself in a position where he's in a really good location just to sort of trade against Lings, because he's choked up. And we're going to see him now drop into the low ground. And again, just all over the place, trying to just stay out of reach of Queens, so the medevacs stay healthy. And he's actually going to find a bit of an Overlord farm. Nerchio going to lose a bunch of Overlords over here. Might see uThermal losing one of these medevacs in a moment or two. Nice transfuse, keeps a Queen alive on the high ground. Look at this though, again, without the medevacs being pushed away, he gets good healing going down consistently, and that means that the Marines can continue to trade with the Zerglings for just so long. More Marines coming in, as we've seen another drop coming in as well, but he is going to have to lift and back away in the end. But again, definitely much better trades this time around from uThermal than what we've seen in the previous game number 2. Again, the previous game, which was game number 2, which we saw this build order. +2/+2, starting up here from Nerchio. And actually from uThermal as well. Upgrades are dead even in this game, so upgrades the same on either side, as we're just going to be seeing 3 of these barracks added on up in the main base. A couple of, well, what else is going on? I guess ready to transfer some SCVs over to his third when he gets it landed. Heavily oversaturated at the moment. Another drop in behind the mineral line. Has to be careful. I mean, he's going to lose the medevacs here. I'll lose one of them. One of them gets away. That's the thing, though. uThermal's now lost 3 medevacs, so we talk about efficiency and keeping units alive. I think it's okay to lose the Marines if he's been trading, as he's been trading. But losing the medevacs, I think, does slow him down in other ways. We're going to see him adding on the Liberator again. We did see him using those for harassment previously. I thought maybe kind of preparing against mutalisks and stuff. But we don't know if it's really saw mutas, so corruptors, but not mutalisks. Anyways, these first 2 Liberators are coming across, so looking to see where they can siege up. Already a spore in the natural, though, and uThermal just going to have to pull away with these. And again, just look around, try and find some damage wherever he can get it. Female Zerglings keep on moving around as well. Third CC from uThermal will drop into location. I'm just going to be seeing a couple of Liberators sieging up. So this left-hand side going to trade, and, well, there's them Queens transfusing each other, although a couple of Queens starting to go down. So he kills off a couple, gets away with 1 Liberator. Well, that's still a pretty decent trade. As we see the third base will be under attack, though. uThermal, how many Marines does he have to kind of deal with Zerglings at this point? 56 Lings against 24 Marines, 20 Banes as well, actually. Nerchio has more than enough to really fight against anything that uThermal has on the ground at the moment. So uThermal's going to have to be careful when it comes to protecting this third base. In fact, I don't think he's going to survive here right now, because Zerglings and Banes are moving forwards. There's so many Banelings, and uThermal is so out of position down on this low ground. Zerglings are going to hit the wall, and the Banes are just going to keep these Marines over here. Widow Mines coming out. They're actually going to be quite important to try and maybe save the day. As we see, well, not too many Banelings left over. 21 and counting Banelings going down. Workers going down, though. Those Banelings over towards the third base, having the time of their lives. Third CC falls as well, as uThermal doesn't lift it in time. He's actually going to repair his engineering base. But nah. So he's going to get 2-2, but he is going to lose the third base. That's huge. He could attack across the map. The counter could just do enough, because Nerchio's thrown away a lot here. But I feel as though Nerchio's thrown away a lot, and he's actually justified the damage he's done, killing the third base especially. uThermal are going to be a tough one to fight back here from now. As we're going to see this Liberator probably just has to siege up here. Widowmine does burrow, going to go off on just 2 Zerglings. No, gets lifted. Burrows again. Widowmines will come forward, just crash onto that. Another Widowmine. Ooh, nice connection to start off. But uThermal just doesn't have that much to keep attacking with. He really doesn't. 10 army supply down, but when you look at the armies, it just looks so one-sided in terms of how much Nerchio has compared to uThermal. Another Widowmine being picked off there as well. I'm just going to be seeing a few more Marines unloading once again, so a few more Marines unloading from these Medivacs Queens. Set in the middle of the map, and Ling Bane going to come over and around the left-hand side. Spire is on the way up as well in the main base. I'm just going to be seeing Marines once again continuing to come forward, so uThermal trying to defend at this point, but it's going to be tough. He actually floats his main base out towards the third, so he will stay on sort of similar economy to what he's had, and he is currently ahead in terms of army supply, only by 6, but in terms of kind of Ling Bane against Bio, that could be all he needs here. Trading efficiently will make up for the lack of workers. Let's see if he can make something happen as he moves on forwards. By the way, very quickly, thank you very much, Rotterdam, for the host. Hello, everyone from WardiTV. We're in Game 3 of this series in the KeSPA Cup qualifiers between uThermal and Nerchio. And uThermal's in a bit of a tough spot right now. He's lost his third base early on to a big attack from Nerchio. And now Nerchio attacking forwards again. uThermal still maintaining an army supply lead, but just not maintaining anything other than that as an advantage. We see the Spire going to finish from Nerchio, and I think as Corruptors come out, a way for him to kind of deal with Medivacs and Liberators a little bit more effectively. I think that's when uThermal starts to get into an issue, and I think time is also really taken until this hive finishes, and once that hive finishes, the Ultralisk Cavern being in play as well. As we see Scan coming down, some Crypt Tumors getting cleaned out, a couple at the front, and he pulls away, again, big connections, and Marines are going down, but this is great for Nerchio, because again, he's just pushing back, buying time. Ling is counter-attacking, going to distract uThermal elsewhere. I mean, the longer that Nerchio just doesn't die himself for, the better a position he's in, because time is definitely Nerchio's friend in this series right now, compared to uThermal. As we see these couple of Liberators sieging up, and another Widowmine hit is huge. I mean, he needs those Widowmine hits to stay in the game right now. 7 Corruptors on the way. uThermal going to unload the unburrow Widowmines, collect together, get across the map. It's time for him to go. I mean, again, the longer he waits, the worse it gets for him. So the faster he goes now, the more chance he has of just pulling off an incredible engagement and making this happen. He needs the Widowmines to connect. He needs the Liberators to help just clean up even a couple of Banelings on the way in. He maybe needs to just engage into a bit of Ling Bane, which he finds out on its own. Initially, that would help. Nerchio very quick to pull away, though, not going to fall for that one. Knows what's happening, responds to it nicely. uThermal actually going to keep on chasing up to that Allied. Here we go. Fight going to start with a nice Widowmine hit to begin with as uThermal pulling back towards the rest of his Widowmines. Liberator sieges up, but that's what the Corruptors are here to deal with. Another Widowmine. That's 2 Banes which have already gone off on a Marine. It's just not enough here, realistically. In uThermal, you can see now his army supply isn't going to cut it. He's just not going to have enough to push on through here. You're going to see the Corruptors going forwards. They're going to get rid of a couple of these Liberators too, and I mean, uThermal just can't do enough anymore. If he kept the third base alive, this would have been a very different game, because the difference in economy he would have had would have been great. In fact, he might have just won the game, because his economy would have been, you know, he stayed in the game and stayed competitive for so long after losing the third. If he kept the third alive, so much could be different in this. Anyways, he loads up once again to escape the left-hand side, but Nerchio just knows what he's doing. He's not going to let this get away. The Corruptors were a great choice as well, because the Corruptors really shut down the efficiency of the Medivacs. You can see him picking them off now. 2 full Medivacs go down. Widowmine doesn't get the miracle hit he needs. I mean, that Widowmine needs to split into 4 or something and kill all of those Lings if uThermal wanted to do this, because Nerchio just has so much. Charging on forwards, needs to be careful. I mean, still, if you run into too many Widowmines, maybe miracles will happen, but it doesn't look as though it's going to happen, as we see our Polish player just charging on through. Ling Bane continues to clean on up a few more Banelings to the south side, and Nerchio is going to be going to the winner bracket round of 4. GG from uThermal. Nerchio advances on through to the next round of the competition.